The point that I'm going to get into is we're going to deep dive into an actual sales meeting and how important it is.
Are you sick of not hitting the numbers you're supposed to hit, making the money you want to make? Door to Door is a professional collaboration to up-level and bring honor and dignity to direct sales.
Let me ask you this: who feels like they're really applying themselves right now? And I mean, who is really trying to be a sponge? Who is really dialed in? You know, they're leaned forward in the seat. They're really trying to absorb as much as they can right now. So everyone put your hands in the air. And if you've done this exercise before, just humor me, but put your hands as high as you can in the air, okay? You can stand, you can sit, it doesn't matter. Are your hands as high as they can go? Everyone promise, they're as high as they can go.
No, I sure don't come like that.
All right, now put them an inch higher. Okay, sit down. So, what just happened?
I got dizzy.
I said, you got dizzy.
You said put them an inch higher. Push the limit
Yeah.
higher than I thought I could.
Yeah, I mean, it's a simple exercise, but the point is, I said, put your hands in the air as high as they can go. And I said, do you promise? Are they as high as they can go? And I said, okay, put them an inch higher. And I literally, it's fun being like where I'm at because I see this collective like 1 inch. Yeah, everyone. So, you know, you can always be doing more than you think you are. And so if you have different offices that you're dealing with and there are different expectations per office, you're running into a culture problem already. Culture has to be consistent. That's a huge underlying principle of culture, is consistency. And an easy way to have consistency is to have really good, standardized, structured sales meetings company-wide. You with me on that? Yeah. Okay, the first thing I said, right? When you're talking about consistency, the first thing you need to think of is, okay, how structured is that? And it needs to be the same always, all the time. The second you lose structure, no one believes in the meeting anymore. Nobody believes in it. Suddenly it's super casual, it's lax, it's optional, it's not a big deal if I miss it. Because if you keep changing it up, oh, hey guys, no meeting this week. You know, this thing, that thing, whatever, hey, don't worry about it. We'll do the meeting next week or whatever it is. The more you do little things like that, you are taking all the power that you have and trying to have a structure with the meeting. So there's some principles, and I'm gonna lightly go over those really quick. So the first one is self-development. That needs to be the number one focus of the meeting. So what does that mean, self-development though? Too often in a sales context, the only thing that we focus on is sales. Everybody does this. They think, hey, let's bring you into a meeting, let's role play, let's read some stuff, let's chat about sales, and it's exhausting. You need to be more dynamic than that as a leader. You have to be. You need to think, okay, how can I help my people financially? And I'm not just talking, well, sales leads to more money. I'm saying, let's talk about what we do with our money. How do we spend our money? Let's go over some principles. Share some stuff like that with them. I like to do a lot of real estate, little mini boot camps with my guys. My guys are really, really young. It's not often that my guys get, you know, that old. Then they typically move on to some other industry, some other job. And so with all these guys, they don't need the money that they're making, right? I mean, so they're gonna blow it. They're gonna do something stupid. And so me, I want to save them from that. And they will always view me as a way more meaningful leader to them. I'll have actual impact on their life, right? You can influence people or you can leave an impact. We all influence people because influence is neutral, right? I can influence you to do something bad. You can influence me to do something good. So whether you mean to or not, you are always influencing people. You're always influencing your reps. When you're going through all this stuff, I want to make sure that you think, and I would honestly make a list. This is what I've done. I said, okay, financially, I help my guys to learn good money principles, savings, investments, stuff like that. Because then they'll buy way more into the whole process, and they'll buy into me for sure. And they'll come to me for not only sales things, but other stuff too. And now I represent a way bigger part of their life in a good way. Spiritually, that whether, it's something very spiritual or if it's something just oneness, Zen, that personal identity, right? Mentally is a huge one. Mentality is, you can never invest enough into the mentality of your people, ever. There's so much content out there in the world for you that you could never even begin to scratch the surface of stuff that you can regurgitate and reiterate and share with your people. So mentality is an easy one. That's a really, really easy one. And then socially, and you get my point, right? Diversify the content that you have in your meetings. Because once you become absolutely predictable as a leader, you have lost influence and you've definitely lost the potential for impact, right? So don't be predictable. So the second one you see there is competitive atmosphere. Who is competitive here? You're competitive? I don't really see it. You sure?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, how much did you hate that I said that to you right then?
Did you want to fight?
Yeah, dude. He wants to swing at me like right away, okay? So there is power. There's a lot of power in bringing the competitive spirit into the meeting. Find different ways to leverage that competitive spirit into your company, and then do that daily or weekly whenever you have your meetings with your guys. Because it is like free energy that you don't have to generate, right? People will do it internally and do it between themselves. Make sense? Okay, take the time in the meeting to pull the people up who are struggling, okay? That is the main focus that you want to spend your time on interactively, is training the guys who are struggling. Now, the next one is accountability. With sales guys, that is huge. That will make or break the culture of your team, is being accountable. You have to hold a line. You have to. And so when they're coming to a meeting every day and it's structured, and the way the actual meeting goes is structured, and I'm gonna say, hey, what did you sell yesterday? Okay, what's your goal for today? And just the process of having to vocalize it, write it down someplace. It's not just in the ether, in my mind, in my heart of hearts. It's out there documented someplace. It's way, way more effective. I want you guys to really, first and foremost, the very first thing you need to do is make sure people are on time. You have to make sure they're on time. It is so awesome to have a culture and a feel and a vibe of your whole meeting. And so we'll talk about roles right after we go over flow, but there are roles that you should be assigning to everybody on your team. Everybody should have a role in the meeting itself. They should participate in some way, right?
If you like what you saw, there's plenty more where that came from. Join the tribe and hit the button below. Subscribe today.